Right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the first assembly of term for prep. And of course, Happy New Year, the three words that we often say. Each year, I amuse myself at seeing how far into the year you can go, and you haven't met somebody yet, so you still say Happy New Year. It feels a bit odd when you get to Easter, but if you haven't seen somebody by the time you get to Easter, you can still say Happy New Year, because that will be it. And you'll be able to see behind me, I hope, a slide that a picture that is very relevant as we jump from one year to the next. And I wonder if you can work out how I took that picture of myself using a tripod and various angles and things. I hadn't taken my watch off before I took the picture, but it was quite a good one, I thought. This time of year is usually, and I think the same again this year, is full of hope and fresh enthusiasm. I don't think there needs to be any difference for this year for the 12 months ahead. There's plenty of hope ahead in 2021, and I trust that you will have plenty of fresh enthusiasm, having been well rested over the Christmas holidays. Plenty of hope, because in a world where we are pretty much dominated by COVID-19, already over 1 million people have been vaccinated. Having protection against the virus allows us to move more freely amongst each other. And this is so important for humans because we definitely work better together. We feel better when we have lots of people to mix with, people to have fun with, people to play with, people to work with, people to create with, and to achieve things with. So being kept apart limits that natural instinct that we have. We're very much a gregarious race. Some people prefer more time on their own, and some people can't bear being on their own. But as a race, generally, we're better off with each other. So the ability to mix through the vaccines that are coming and being pushed out to those who are most vulnerable should definitely release us as we go into 2021. So plenty of hope in that regard. And plenty of rest, I'm sure, this time over Christmas, because like mine, it was probably much simpler than ones you've had in previous years. Some of you may think it wasn't as much fun, perhaps, but in a different way, it was very special. And I'm sure you spent some lovely times together as a family. But because it was simpler, it would certainly have been less frantic and less tiring than usual. So I do think that we're probably physically better rested over this Christmas holiday, which is a good thing as we go into the beginnings of this year. So here we are at the beginning of a year, and we're not in the same room as each other, but we are setting out on a new term together. We are together in mind and purpose, if not together in body. So do engage with your teachers and the school from wherever you are. Do it online, get into Teams, and if you're watching this now, you're doing that. You're part of the Teams setup there. And I'm hoping that as you go further into this, you become more and more adept about it. You remember those things, those of you who used it in the summer. Get into the Teams, look at the posts, look at the assignments, explore the tabs that sit within the teams that you've been made a member of. And I know the staff have been making a few new teams, whether it be for tutors and for other groups, sport and the like. So do explore Teams. Don't sit there and sort of wait for it to come to you. Click on the tabs, find out what is going on. Be an active engager in the whole process. Do communicate through Teams with your teachers in all areas. And that includes art, music, DT, drama, sport. There's going to be so much going on. It may not all be there in the first couple of days, but as we go into the time ahead, it'll emerge. So get stuck in, as I was saying earlier, and do help each other. You were brilliant at that last time. I know the staff valued sharing with each other, and I'm sure you as children did too when we were remote. Do look after each other in terms of people might not see a link, they might miss a piece of information, and help each other with the technology. If you're unsure, don't be shy about saying you need help. It's a big truism in life that saying you need help is a real strength, not a weakness. So if you're unsure and you can't find something and you don't know which button to click, just ask. Somebody out there will be able to help you. I do it quite a lot. I have Mr. Ayres here today. You can't see him, he's just behind the camera, but all of this is made so much easier because I've got him to help me, because I don't know exactly how to make it work, which buttons to press. So do ask for help. And good luck with all of that technology side of things, both to you pupils, to the staff, and to parents and people at home, because there will probably be one or two glitches along the way. That's the nature of technology. but have fun as well, getting stuck into it, sharing and working together in a different way. Now, I'm not going to start the year talking about New Year's resolutions. That's often on people's minds. They do think about, well, what am I going to do? New Year's resolution. Now, New Year's resolution is a good thing if it's managed properly. I know Father Marcus mentioned that, I think, this time last year. New Year's resolution is a good thing if it's managed properly, if you understand the potential pitfalls and it brings you an excitement about doing something forward. This time, though, I am going to get advice from an unusual source. Now, Mr. Ayres, I'm hoping when I press one of these buttons, the situation changes for you at home. So I'm going to press that. Now, you should be able to see the same picture to the one I have behind me, but also me maybe down in the bottom in the bottom corner. So the advice that I want to take from the unusual source, Mr. Ayres, click the next button, please. I want to take advice from a tree. Now you can see this tree, a couple of birds sitting in the top right-hand corner there, and I've got 14 gold bars underneath it. Those gold bars are covering up some words of advice from a tree. So we're hopefully going to reveal those one at a time. And some of them are really obvious as to what they're saying, and others I might let you know what I think. Some of that is telling us as humans. Trees are amazing, and they do all of these things. First piece of advice from a tree. Mr. Ayres, press the button. It's a pretty obvious one. When we see them out there, there they are, standing tall, and they're proud to be a tree. I'm proud to be an ash. I'm proud to be an oak. I'm proud to be a horse chestnut. Whichever kind of tree they are very proud of who they are. They stand tall, and so it should be for you. Be proud of who you are. We certainly are. So you be proud of who you are and stand tall as you go through your life and we head into this year. Mr. Ayres, press again, please. The second one is be confident. It's a similar theme to the stand tall and be proud. Be confident in yourself. Have belief. You may come across some stuff in the next few days and weeks, and you'll not be sure about it, and it'll be harder because you might not have people next to you or near you to help you with it. But just have that little bit of confidence, take that step and see where it takes you. Mr. Ayres, next one, please. So the third one is branch out. Now, for me, what that means here, obviously trees put branches here and then a new branch comes off and another branch comes off it in a different direction. For me, to you, I would say that means try something new. Don't just carry on going in the same direction. Things that you've done before often feel comfortable and warm, and we understand them, but branch out, try something new, give a different activity a go. So as we go into this 5 weeks ahead, you might be tempted by something that you haven't done before, and then you'll go, not really sure. Branch out, go for it, try it. Next one, please, Mr. Ayres. Here is a really obvious one that does link to beginning of year and also the beginning of a new school term. Turn over a new leaf. There's an opportunity to go to a fresh page and start things anew, and you can lose some of the things that have been bugging you or where you've made mistakes in your book before. You turn a new leaf, and so it can be a bit like New Year's resolutions. Try something new, do things in a different way, alter your behaviours. And when I say your behaviours, I don't mean about behaving well, because you always will do that. Your attitude to life, the rhythms and routines, turn over a new leaf. Next one, please. Trees remember their roots, and so should you. For me, this is two things. One, it's about looking after yourself. You've grown from your roots, so physically look after yourself. We need to take care of our physical body. We need to eat well, and we need to sleep well, and we need to exercise. And the other part of it is an emotional remembrance of your roots. Yes, of course, you grew from the roots of your parents, but as you've been growing through your life, your roots have grown a bit more, and you've got friendships and you've got relationships with wider family. Don't forget those. As you're going along through your life, don't just become too isolated in yourself. Remember the people around you who helped you become who you are. Be true to them. Look after the relationships that you have. Next one, please, Mr. Ayres. Never stop growing, it says. That, again, is a pretty obvious one, and certainly at your age, you're growing daily, visibly, all sorts of things changing. And even at my age, 123 now this year, at my age, you can keep growing. You can keep developing new attitudes, new experiences. Never stop growing. Next one, please, Mr. Eyre. Go out on a limb. This is not the same as number 3, which was branch out. Branch out is try something new. Going out on a limb is a branch of a tree that begets, that can get smaller and smaller. So as you go out on that limb, it can become a bit shakier and a bit wobblier. And if you go out on a limb, sometimes you stand out from the crowd. Sometimes you make a point that doesn't necessarily sit with what everybody was saying. You try an alternative view. And by doing that, going towards the end of the branch, by taking a different viewpoint, you're taking a risk. So to me, go out on a limb is encouraging you to take risks. And you've heard me say that before. A risk might be putting your hand up in class, and I know that's not going to be happening physically now. It might be auditioning for a play or all sorts of things like that. Take a little risk, explore the world beyond your comfort zone again. Mr. Ayres, another one, please. This one has gone to drink plenty of water. That sort of goes with remember your roots part, where I was saying look after your body, but definitely drink plenty of water. If you're going to spend some decent time in front of a screen, some of you, which is one of the downsides of remote learning, it's particularly important then to make sure that you are well lubricated with water. Get your fluid levels high, so drink plenty of water. Next one, please. Adapt to change. Well, that's certainly something that we've had to do over the last months. The world around us has changed, and sometimes it's changed by the hour, and we've had to adapt. The staff have spent the last 48 hours, 36 hours adapting to a change in a piece of news from the Prime Minister on Monday evening. And so it will be for you. You thought you were coming to school this morning, most of you, and you've had to adapt to the idea that you've got to go online. So you're going to need to get some stuff organized. You're going to have to set up a kind of desk at home where you will do your regular work. We're going to give you a chance to come in on Friday, by the way, to collect bits and pieces, and I'm sure we'll send information about that today. But you're going to have to adapt to the change. Next one, please, Mr. Ayres. Number 10 is stay grounded. For me, I would translate that straight into be humble. And it's not these bits of advice are not necessarily just about now, by the way. These are bits of advice for your whole life. Stay real, be humble, don't get ahead of yourself, don't get an inflated opinion of who you are. Next one. Okay, number 11 now is bend before you break. I love this one, and I talk to children about this actually. Bend before you break. Trees are constantly moving, really, and particularly on a windy day, they're swaying in the wind. They bend, they don't break. So how does that relate to you? When a piece of news, you might have a difficult situation. You might feel that something is putting pressure on you. Well, don't collapse and break. Feeling sad is an emotion. It's not a catastrophe. Having a difficult piece of work to do is a current situation. Absorb it, take the pressure, bend a little bit. Yes, it might be harder, but take the pain, the strain, bend a bit. Don't just collapse and go, no, I can't do it, it's too difficult. So bend before you break. Next one. Get rid of dead wood. So trees, if something has become obsolete, anymore, they don't use it. Bits of dead branches break off and fall away. They don't use them again. So there may be things in your life, and it could be a physical thing, or it could be one of your attitudes to life or a regular behavior that you do that actually you don't need anymore. You might have grown older, so you don't need some of the things that were a little bit more childish, but they were appropriate at the time, but you don't need them now. They may be materials you don't need. Clear out some of those things so that it gives you space, both physical space and mental space, to move forward. Next one. Enjoy the view. This, for me, I translated this in my head into sort of mindfulness. Being mindful is just noticing all the good things around you, just being aware of your setting, instead of perhaps spending too much time worrying about things that aren't quite right, or the problems or the things that are not fair. just be mindful and enjoy what is in front of you, because actually we live in a glorious world and we have fabulous people around us and we have amazing opportunities of things to do. Some of those are restricted at the moment, there's no doubt about that, but be mindful of all the wonderful things that are happening in your life. Enjoy the view that you have, because it's going to be pretty great. And I think the last one we're on now, Mr. Ayres. And the last one, well, it speaks for itself. Reach for the sky. That's what trees are doing. They're growing up and they're reaching for the sky. And of course, as a human, you want to try and be the best you can. You want to grow as much as you can and reach as far. Shoot for the moon, they say, and you'll land amongst the stars, or something like that. Reach for the sky, I think, is a fairly self-explanatory piece of advice from a tree. So as I said, many of those are going to be ideas that we have now as we move into this odd period of term and the time that we have together. But those messages for life, advice for life, I think however old you are, there is some very sound advice from a tree. So at this point, we'll just end the assembly, this part of assembly, by turning to our book. Mr. Ayres, do you have the book there? This is the book that I've got. And we're going to read together one of the prayers. You won't have it at home, so I'm going to put it on the screen. We'll read the beginning of term prayer number 12. And I think, Mr. Ayres, you're able to show that to people. So let us pray. Heavenly Father, may your blessing be upon all that we do this term. Grant us perseverance in our work, fairness in our play, tolerance and respect in our dealings with others. In all things, help us to set high standards and to follow good examples. Amen. Right, I'm going to press a button here and hopefully come back to me with the screen behind. So just to finish off then, before you head off, I think next at about 9:30 you might have a tutor time. Hopefully most of your tutors are able to do that, and then into whatever lessons. I think for the first 2 or 3 days, don't expect to have live lessons all of the time, and even into next week, it may be that it's not a live lesson all the time. It wouldn't be entirely healthy for you to spend your whole time in front of the screen. But certainly this morning, you might find that you've got a tutor meeting at 9:30 online, and then moving into your normal timetable that you've been having last term from 10 o'clock. Over the next couple of days then, we will be sending out this chance for you to come to school. Sadly, it's not a time for you to come and hang out with each other and chat. Clearly, we need to keep our distance from each other as we help control the virus, but there will be some time slots sent out so that you can come and collect books. That will be books of your own, your pencil cases and the like, but the staff have also spent some time putting together materials they would like you to have with you at home, so that that will help with the learning they're going to be doing with you over the next 5 weeks. Over the next couple of days as well, get used to being online. Make sure that you can work it. As I've said, if you're watching this, you've probably already done that. But if you know of somebody who is struggling to get online, help them out. And if it's the first time for you, we've sent a little bit of information, but the best way is just to ask people. Use this time to reconnect with your teachers. So let's take these next couple of days just to get the physical and the emotional connections back together. And as I said, we'll send new timetables out for the routine from Monday. We're hoping to get those out today. And we'll move into a routine that is better suited to remote learning. So I think that we should really commit to it all as we settle in, rather than shy away from it all. Let's get down to enjoying it, all the work and the activities that are out there. We've got 5.5 weeks ahead together. There will be assemblies, there will be chapel tomorrow. All of those things will continue, and the picture will emerge as we go forward. But that's it from me for now. Good luck, everybody, and let's get stuck in.